I've just seen the first episode of season 3 of Game of Thrones, where Game of Thrones started off, everyone was quite happy. Everyone is now completely miserable. And we went around the continent of Westeros, catching up on everyone in their various miseries. In the north, the Stark family, you may remember Sean Bean, who's Ned Stark, had his head chopped off at the end of the first season, and his family are now in various states of complete torment. His son's waging a civil war, keeping his mum prisoner for releasing another prisoner. His eldest daughter, Sansa, has just been jilted by the bastard King Joffrey. And the younger daughter, Arya, is missing, presumed dead. Another son, Jon Snow, is north of the Wall, where he's with the wildlings and scary giants men. Bran Stark is on the run with his little brother Rickon in the north. All in all, it's not going very well for the Starks. And in fact, it's not going very well for anyone. As well as those guys, the Lannisters, who won the war and are now on the throne, but have their own problems to contend with. Tyrion Lannister, the Dwarf, who is many people's favourite character, has had his nose badly hurt in the fight and went to ask his dad, not unreasonably, if he could become heir to his throne. And his dad, Tywin, Charles Dance, was extremely scary and said that no, he couldn't because he was a deformed little dwarf man and was really very nasty. And I think we could expect more of that. Across the sea in Essos, Daenerys has still got her dragons. The dragons are getting bigger and we got some excellent dragon fishing, which was good, where a dragon sort of flipped a fish up and then toasted it with its dragon fire and ate it in one go, sort of barbecue fish straight away. And that was good fun, but she's looking for an army because the dragons aren't big enough to fight on her own. So she has found some slaves that she might hire, and the slaves are very tough. The slave's toughness was proved because one of them had his nipple cut off by the slave's owner, and so she might buy them, but she doesn't seem very keen on slavery. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, all in all, as an episode, it wasn't thrill a minute. I think there's so many people to catch up on in Game of Thrones. There's so many different characters and families and problems to remember. And I mean, I've seen both series and read the books, and I was still a bit confused by what was going on at some points. Things that people like about the series were all there. There was a political intrigue, there was the great dialogue, there was a bit of violence, some dragons, some giants, and all in all, plenty to keep the fans happy. But I think we'll probably have to wait for the series' great emotional climaxes or stories to develop. But a very promising start to season 3 and plenty for the fans. For the rest of the series, I hope we get to see lots more of the Dwarf, Tyrion, who's one of my favourite characters, as he is for many fans. And I think his situation is particularly interesting because he was a hero at the end of the last series, and now he finds himself knocked back down again and not in a position of power anymore. And it's going to be very interesting to see what he does with it. And also Peter Dinklage, who plays him, is just a joy to watch. The other character I'd like to see more of is Arya Stark, the Stark's youngest daughter, who's played by Maisie Williams, who I think is just an absolutely fantastic actress. And again, just seems to have fantastic command of everything she does. She acts like an old pro, and I think she's only just 16. But she's fantastic. So more of her, more of Tyrion, more dragons, more giants, more fighting, more intrigue. And I think Game of Thrones will almost certainly deliver if the first 2 seasons have anything to go by.